How's it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with another top 10 position breakdown for the 2013 NFL Draft. In this video, I'll be breaking down my top 10 wide receivers, and let's get started. Coming in at number 10, we have Ryan Swope, the redshirt senior out of Texas A&M. He's sitting at 6 foot, 206 pounds. His senior season had 72 receptions, 913 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And as we all know, he had the famous Johnny Manziel throwing to him all season long. In my opinion, he actually has the best hands in this year's draft class. He's an excellent downfield blocker. He's a tough, gritty player, and we saw that in SEC play all season long. He's thicker than most slot receivers, so that could suit well for him at the next level. He has great vision. He's not afraid to take a hit. We saw that all season long. He doesn't have great height and lacks elite speed, so that will be tough for him in the next level to get past the second level. And in my opinion, he projects as a late third-round pick. Sitting at number 9, we have Cobi Hamilton, the senior out of Arkansas, sitting at 6'3", 209 pounds. His senior season, he had 90 receptions, 1,335 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And actually, 3 of those 5 touchdowns came in the Rutgers game, where he had a record 303 yards in that game. He has a typical size of a legitimate outside threat. He has ability to get in on corners off the line with a quick first step. He has amazing hands. He's a reception machine, as you saw with 90 receptions on the year. He is great on inside crossing routes with the capability of having big plays downfield. He does need to improve on all route running because his routes that he ran at Arkansas were limited. He rarely beat press coverage at Arkansas, and that'll be even a bigger challenge in the NFL, so he does need to improve on that. And I have Cobi Hamilton going early third round in this year's NFL Draft. Coming in at number 8, we have Justin Hunter, the junior out of Tennessee. He's sitting at 6'4", 200 pounds. In his junior season, he had 73 receptions, 1,083 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And as you probably can tell due to his 6'4" frame, he is a vertical threat due to his size, and he has the ability to get downfield and make big plays. He's a very good route runner and has the ability to create separation against almost any defensive back. He's a huge mismatch for corners due to the corner size traditionally in the NFL, which is around 6 foot, as he's sitting at 6'4". He does a great job on adjusting the balls that are off the mark. He needs to add more bulk, as he's sitting at only 200 pounds with the 6'4" frame. And with his given frame, it is hard for him to gain weight, but he definitely needs to try to do so to be more durable in the NFL, because he is a durability issue because he has been injured a lot throughout his career at Tennessee. He's not necessarily explosive after the catch, and he lets the ball get in on his body a little bit too much, which creates unnecessary drops. He often shows frustration through his body language, so he needs to correct that because NFL teams don't want that. And that really does tend to affect his play, as you've seen throughout his career at Tennessee. And he sometimes seems scared when going over the middle, and that's something you really can't fix. So that is actually a big concern for NFL teams. And for Justin Hunter, I have him projected going in the mid-second round in this 2013 NFL Draft. Coming in at number 7, we have a former teammate of Justin Hunter, Rodgers, the junior out of Tennessee Tech, sitting at 6'3", 206 pounds. With his junior season, he had 61 receptions, 893 yards, and 10 touchdowns. In the previous year, before with Tennessee, he did have 1,040 yards, so he did have a drop-off. Maybe having to do with the quarterback at Tennessee Tech not being near as good as Tyler Bray. His talent is no question. He is extremely talented. He's a first-round talent, but his maturity and his ability to stay out of trouble off the field is a big question mark, as he was kicked off of Tennessee, thus having to transfer to Tennessee Tech to play for the season to enter the NFL Draft. He's a very, very physical receiver. And when thinking of Rodgers, the only receiver that comes to mind that plays in the NFL now that I can really compare him to is Julio Jones. Yes, I'm comparing him to Julio Jones, even having him at number 7 on my board. And most teams don't press him because he's too strong. That's only a plus at the NFL level. I mean, it won't be as easy in college, but still, just the thought of teams not being able to press him does create some interest in an NFL scout. He's a tremendous run blocker. He's very fast, explosive, fights for yards after the catch, and displays the ability to hang onto the ball after taking a big hit. He, in fact, didn't drop one ball while at Tennessee. He has amazing hands, but the biggest question mark surrounding Rodgers is his off-field issues. And if he can correct that, he's going to be a very, very successful wide receiver in the NFL. And I think a team that takes a chance on him, and if he stays out of trouble, he'll be a very, very, very big pickup for a team in the late second round. So I do have Derek Rodgers going late second round in this 2013 NFL Draft. At number 6, I have Robert Woods, the junior out of USC, sitting at 6'1", 190 pounds. His junior season, he had 76 receptions, 846 yards, and 11 total touchdowns. He's probably the best route runner in the draft, in my opinion. He's a great blocker, but his lack of big plays is a concern not only this year, but last year and previous years, his freshman year as well, did not have too many big plays, and a lot of the catches that he did have, he was targeted many times in every single game, probably over 10 times a game. Just the way that USC utilized him in his offense did allow him to make a lot of catches, a lot of big plays, but not necessarily big plays created by himself, which is something that an NFL team wants to see in a college wide receiver. He drops way too many passes, so that's also a big concern. A lot of easy passes he drops, so that's like I said, a very big concern for NFL teams. He lacks elite speed, and he did have a big drop-off in production from his sophomore to junior year. Some will argue that a big reason his production dropped off from his sophomore to junior year is because Matt Barkley struggled this season, and also the big emergence of the other wide receivers on the opposite side of him, Marquise Lee, who had a huge year, which I believe will be the #1 receiver out of college next year. But with all that said, I believe Marquise Lee will still be a mid to late second round pick in this year's NFL Draft. Sitting at number 5, I have Terrence Williams, the redshirt senior out of Baylor, sitting at 6'2", 205 pounds. Put up insane stats his redshirt senior year. 97 receptions, 1,832 yards, and 12 touchdowns. He actually did lead the country in yardage this year, and I believe he was just as good as Kendall Wright coming out of college, and I think it was a very big decision by him to come back his senior season, and it did work in his favor. Some argued that it would have been better for him to come out last year because Robert Griffin III would not be back this year, but Nick Florence turned out to actually break many of Robert Griffin III's records, so it did turn out to be a great decision by Terrence Williams to come back. He displays tremendous vertical speed. He possesses ideal frame for an outside receiver. He has great footwork. He has the potential to return kickoffs or punts. Like I said, he's a deep threat. Not the best hands, but he was really only used as a deep threat in Baylor's offense, so he does need to improve on his inside routes. And after possession, he doesn't really make his man miss, and that really does need to be evolved into his game and the next level in the NFL to be a very, very successful receiver, which I believe he can, but he has a few things he needs to work on, especially his route running on the inside. And I do believe Terrence Williams will be a mid to late second round pick in this NFL Draft, probably more a mid second round pick. Coming in at number 4, we have DeAndre Hopkins, a junior out of Clemson, sitting at 6 foot flat, 210 pounds. His junior season, he had 82 receptions, 1,405 yards, and 18 touchdowns. And as we all know, we all saw the Chick-fil-A Bowl, and he absolutely blew up whenever Sammy Watkins went down, like on the first play of the game. He had a huge game and is a big part why they won. DeAndre Hopkins displays quick hands, big playability. He attacks the ball at the highest point. He's a fluid route runner. He was using all routes at Clemson, whether it be short, intermediate, or deep routes, and he excelled in all of them, ran all of them very fluidly, very well. He has strong hands in traffic, a very good run blocker, but you do notice that he does have average size for an outside threat, so that might be a problem at the next level, might be a question mark for NFL scouts and NFL general managers. He hasn't proven to beat his man off of man coverage yet, and he does go east to west too much rather than just going upfield and taking what is given to him. And I project DeAndre Hopkins to be an early to mid second round pick in this 2013 NFL Draft. Sitting at number 3, I have Tavon Austin, the senior out of West Virginia, sitting at 5'9", 175 pounds. His senior season, he had 114 receptions, 1,289 yards, and 12 touchdowns, while adding in with 643 yards on 72 carries and 3 touchdowns. So he had a total of 15 touchdowns on the season. And he was actually second in the country in receptions, tied with his own teammate Stedman Bailey, who I actually didn't have in my top 10, unfortunate for West Virginia fans. I believe he's the fastest receiver in the draft. Will not be surprised if he runs a sub 4.4 at the combine. He played running back, so that's always a plus, being versatile like that, and executes very well on screenplays, so it could be used maybe in a West Coast type system. Great vision, great acceleration, great patience, following his blocks, on-screen plays specifically. He projects as a slot receiver at the next level, which is pretty much a given his size at 5'9", 175 pounds. And that's definitely a question mark for NFL scouts. And he also projects as a punt/kick returner, and with his speed, with his acceleration, and his ability to make people miss in the open field, he could be a very dangerous returner, I believe, in my opinion. Like I said, he's very undersized. He needs to improve on his route running, which is very, very important due to his lack of size. And in this draft, I have Tavon Austin going late first round in this 2013 NFL draft. Coming in at number 2, we have my third former Tennessee player in my top 10, Cordarrelle Patterson, the junior out of Tennessee, sitting at 6'3", 205 pounds, finished the season with 46 receptions, 778 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And he is very raw. This is only his first year at Tennessee. He was a JUCO transfer, so some might think he was a one-year wonder type player, but with his physical tools, that's not the case, I don't believe. He has the typical height, but he may need to add bulk to be durable at the next level. Same thing with his former teammate, Justin Hunter. He has an excellent change in direction with sharp cuts, probably the best at that specific attribute in this draft class. And like I said, he has typical height for the outside receiver in the NFL. He can make defenders miss, as he's very, very elusive, very good at adjusting to passes thrown not necessarily on target, as we saw a lot of that from Tyler Bray. He used his size to the best of his ability, but he does need to improve on running routes, and he drops way too many easy passes, so he does need to get that fixed. Kind of reminds me how Julio Jones did that at Alabama. He needs to learn to take what is given to him, because you'll see him having to adjust to a route because his quarterback's scrambling outside the pocket, and instead of coming inside and taking the easy 5 to 10 yards, he always goes for the home run route. And I believe with a little bit of coaching, that definitely can be fixed and help him out at the next level. And I actually have Cordarrelle Patterson going mid to late first round in this 2013 NFL draft. And coming in at number 1 on my top 10 list of wide receivers for the 2013 NFL Draft, we have Keenan Allen, the junior out of Cal, probably expected by most people clicking on this video. Sitting at 6'3", 210 pounds, finished his junior campaign at Cal with 61 receptions, 737 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And he actually didn't play his last 3 games, and actually his previous year he had 1,343 yards, so he did have a big drop-off in production. Might have been because of the quarterback play by his brother, Zach Maynard, or Zach Maynard, however you want to pronounce it. He has good size, the ability to stretch the field. He has just about every single attribute you would want to see from a receiver. That's why probably most of you expected him to be number 1. He's just that talented, and he's an excellent route runner, quick out of breaks, impressive blocker downfield. But he does lack elite speed, and he doesn't really have the ability to make defenders miss in open space. That's probably one of his few negative aspects of his game. And probably actually the biggest question going into the draft is his health, because like I said, he did not play in the last 3 games of the season, and that was because of a left knee injury, and some NFL scouts are questionable about that. But if he is healthy, see him to go somewhere from around the 15th to 10th pick in the 2013 NFL Draft. So I am saying around the mid-first round for Keenan Allen in this draft. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. As I said before, I'm going to be doing position breakdowns for top 10 wide receivers like I just did in this video. Either top 5 or top 10 tight ends, defensive line, linebackers, and defensive backs. I haven't decided if I'm doing top 10 or top 5 for all those positions, but thanks guys for watching. Please let me know what you thought about my list. Let me know what your list is in the comment section below. Just leave a list of your top 10 or maybe even top 5 wide receivers for this draft class. Let me know if you agreed with me or disagreed with me, and why not. And let me know who you thought I should have included in this list, and some guys and maybe I should have left out. So thanks for watching. Have a great night. As always, roll Tide, go Sox, and go Titans to you. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you later.